I was battered, bruised, even buried. My spirit felt crushed beneath the weight of invisible blows, and every breath was a struggle against the darkness pressing in from all sides. There were nights so dark I could barely breathe. Days when my own soul felt wrapped in chains, locked in a tomb of silence and shame. I was isolated, alone. The world outside kept moving, but I was frozen in place, trapped in a cycle of regret and self-doubt. Every hour felt like an eternity, and hope seemed like a distant memory. I carried the weight of depression, the heaviness of dreams long dead, and I wondered if this was it, if this was how my story would end. The pain was relentless and the silence was deafening. I questioned my worth, my purpose, and whether I would ever feel whole again. But then, just like Lazarus, I heard him call my name. In the midst of my despair, when I thought no one could possibly see me, a gentle voice broke through the darkness. And a voice called my name, Remy, come forth. A whisper in the darkness, a promise that I was not forgotten, not abandoned. A voice that cut through the noise of my despair and said, come forth. It was more than just words. It was an invitation to live again, to step out of the shadows and into the light. I was dead inside, but he said, live. In that moment, something shifted deep within me. I felt a spark of hope ignite, faint but undeniable. And in that moment, light began to break through. The chains that held me started to fall. The lies I believed about myself began to lose their grip, and I could sense the possibility of freedom. I felt hope flicker like a sunrise after endless night. It was fragile at first, but it grew stronger with every step I took toward the light. I realized that even the longest night must eventually give way to dawn. This is not the end of my story. It's the resurrection of my purpose. I am not defined by my lowest moments, but by the grace that lifts me up and gives me new life. I stand here today because grace found me, because love called me out of my grave and into the light. I'm living proof that no pit is too deep, no night too long for the power of redemption. And now, this YouTube channel is taking a shift. It's not just about sharing stories, it's about sharing life, sharing hope, and building a community where no one has to walk through darkness alone. Short videos will now rise weekly, not just content, but living word. Testimony, raw truth, hope for the hopeless. Each video will be a spark, a reminder that resurrection is possible, and that your story isn't over. If God brought me back, He'll do the same for you. You are not alone in your struggle, and your pain is not the end of your journey. No matter how deep the darkness feels, no matter how silent your tomb, there's a voice calling your name. There's a purpose waiting to be awakened, a future waiting to be lived. Welcome to the new season. Welcome to the resurrection. Together we will rise, and together we will shine. From buried to called, my Lazarus encounter. This is just the beginning of a new chapter, a testimony of hope reborn. Subscribe, watch, rise again. Let's walk this journey together from darkness to light.